So welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle the marketing mix, that core
Yeah.
strategic thing businesses use to connect with their audience and, well, hit their goals.
Yeah, it's really about getting the right stuff to the right people in the right way, fundamentally.
Exactly. And the traditional way we kind of frame this is the four Ps: product, price, place, and promotion.
Those are the basic levers you pull, right? To build that competitive edge and make sure what you're offering actually connects with the market.
Right. And our mission today, based on this really interesting article we looked at from Cognitive Market Research, isn't just to understand how those four Ps connect. We also want to dig into, where this classic model maybe struggles a bit in today's world.
Precisely. I mean, it's foundational stuff, but the market's changed so much, hasn't it? Since the idea first came about, we really need to look critically at how relevant it still is and maybe where its weak spots are now.
Yeah, and speaking of how things are changing, there was this fact in the article that really jumped out at me.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Get this. In 2024, something like 85% of marketers are using generative AI for creating content.
Wow, 85%. That's huge.
And 63% think most of their content will soon have AI helping out. It just shows how fast marketing is shifting.
It really does. It just underlines how crucial it is to be agile, to adapt, even with these frameworks that have been around forever.
Totally.
So maybe let's start by breaking down those four Ps. What actually falls under each one?
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with product.
Yeah.
This isn't just the thing itself, the item or the service. It's really about digging deep into what customers want and need. We're
Right.
talking features, quality, the actual benefits, basically everything that makes your offering different and meets what the market's looking for.
Exactly. A good product doesn't just happen, does it?
Yeah.
You need to really get what people value and also be super aware of what your competitors are doing. It's about offering real, tangible value that clicks with the people you're trying to reach.
Then you've got price. And this isn't just like putting a number on it. Price really shapes how people see the affordability, the whole value idea. The marketing mix helps businesses figure out pricing strategically so it reflects the product's value, but also considers, market conditions, costs, what others are charging.
Yeah, and what's interesting with price is how it sends signals, right? Like a high price can suggest high quality,
Sure.
whereas a lower price might pull in a wider group who are more focused on cost. The mix pushes you to be deliberate about pricing, not just reactive.
Okay, next up is place. This is all about making sure your product actually gets to your customers effectively. Where they are, when they need it, distribution, accessibility.
So getting it to them conveniently.
Yeah, good placement is absolutely key for sales and just making it easy for the customer. It covers managing supply chains, choosing physical stores or online, or maybe both.
And that place bit has gotten way more complex, hasn't it? With e-commerce booming and supply chains stretching across the globe.
Definitely.
It's not just about the shop on the corner anymore. It's having a solid online presence, efficient logistics so things arrive on time, a smooth experience. And actually, think about the rise of direct-to-consumer brands.
Right. Cutting out the middleman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just convenient. It gives brands amazing control over the customer experience and really valuable data, too. Kind of shifts the power in place.
Good point. Okay, and finally, we land on promotion. This is basically how you tell your audience about the product's value and benefits.
Getting the word out.
Yeah, the marketing mix helps shape all the promotional stuff, ads, sales promotions, maybe special offers, PR, all trying to build brand awareness, drive sales, and just get people interested.
Promotion is like the voice of your product. It needs to be clear, convincing, and actually reach the right people through the best channels. And while going back to that AI stat,
Yeah,
that just shows how technology is constantly shaking up the whole promotion game.
absolutely. Okay, so those are the pieces. But how does the mix actually work as like a whole strategy? What's the usual flow?
Well, generally, it kicks off with really analyzing your target market. You've got to understand them deeply, what they need, what they like, how they buy things.
Right.
That understanding is the foundation for, well, pretty much every other decision you make in the mix.
Makes sense. You can't design a product or price it without knowing who it's for. So what's a common mistake businesses make there when defining that target?
Often they try to be everything to everyone, cast the net too wide.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's usually more effective to find specific niche groups with needs that aren't being fully met. Once you've got that clarity on your market, Then you start making decisions about the product. Its features, the quality level, the design, the key benefits it offers. You're basically shaping it to fit those customer expectations and stand out from the competition.
Okay, so product follows market understanding. Then comes price.
Right.
Setting up the pricing strategy.
Yeah. Exactly. And that means looking carefully at what competitors charge, figuring out the value you offer as customers see it, and of course, knowing your own costs inside out. You'll think about different pricing models, maybe discounts, payment terms, all that stuff.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Between making money and making it attractive to customers.
Definitely. And then you move on to place. This is where you pick your distribution channels. Are you selling direct online, using wholesalers, retail stores? And crucially, how are you going to manage the supply chain to get the product moving smoothly?
So it's not just making the thing, but getting it where it needs to go efficiently.
Precisely. And then lastly, you figure out your promotion strategies. How are you going to communicate that value proposition? What kind of ads make sense? Will you use sales promotions to get people to try it or buy more? What about PR to build the brand image? And more, how do you use digital marketing effectively?
It really sounds like all these parts have to work together seamlessly. Like if you position something as premium,
Your price needs to reflect that.
it may be where you sell it too, right? Your place.
Absolutely. A well-integrated mix sends a consistent message. That's when your marketing really has the biggest impact.
But the article also mentions that this traditional 4Ps model has, well, some real limitations today. What are the main drawbacks you see?
Well, a big one is that it's pretty static, wouldn't you say? The market today is anything but static. Consumer behavior shifts so fast, new tech pops up all the time, and the 4Ps framework can kind of struggle to keep up with that constant change.
So it's like a snapshot, not really a live feed.
Kinda, yeah. It doesn't always capture dynamic stuff like social media's impact or the whole digital transformation thing or those shifting consumer tastes we talked about. If you only rely on the 4Ps, you might end up just reacting to changes instead of getting ahead of them.
Okay, so given how fast things change, where does that traditional model really start to creak?
Well, another point the article raises is its focus on the product itself, a product-centric bias.
Right. Why is that a limitation now?
Because today, customer decisions are driven by way more than just the product. Think about the quality of the service they get, the overall experience with the brand, the relationship they build with a company. Those things are huge now.
Ah, so it's not just a tangible thing, but the whole experience around it.
Exactly. The 4Ps can sometimes gloss over how important things like brand reputation are, or how engaged customers feel, or the value in making things feel personal. Businesses that just focus on product, price, place, promotion might miss big chances to really connect with people and build that loyalty.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could have a great product, priced right, easy to get.
Hmm.
But if your customer service is terrible or people are saying bad things online,
It completely undermines everything else. Exactly. And that leads us right into how the mix impacts, customer satisfaction and loyalty, which are obviously critical.
right, let's get into that. How does each P play a role in keeping customers happy and coming back?
Okay, let's start with product again. If your product is well designed, works like it should, and consistently meets or ideally exceeds what customers expect in terms of quality, well, that's a direct line to satisfaction.
Sure.
When a product does its job well and gives real benefits, it builds trust, creates positive feelings about the brand.
Yeah, a bad product is a surefire way to lose customers fast.
No question. Then there's price. Customers are always weighing up the value they get against the price they pay. So, fair, competitive pricing is baseline, but it's more than just the sticker price, right? Things like special offers, discounts, good loyalty programs, they can seriously boost how satisfied people feel and encourage them to stick around. Builds that loyalty.
So price isn't just the transaction, it's about fairness and maybe added perks.
Precisely. Now, think about place. Easy access, efficient distribution, whether that's a convenience store location or a smooth online buying process, it makes the whole purchase journey positive, stress-free. Making it easy for people to get what they need when they need it, that definitely adds to satisfaction.
Yeah, a clunky or frustrating buying process is a huge turnoff. Convenience matters a lot.
Absolutely. And finally, promotion. Good promotion isn't just shouting about your product. It's about explaining the benefits in a way that matters to people, engaging with them genuinely.
Being relevant.
Yes. When your promotions set realistic expectations and connect with what customers care about, that builds trust. And that strengthens both satisfaction and loyalty.
So honest, relevant communication, not just hype.
Exactly. Now, given everything we've said about the market changing all the time, how can businesses actually use the marketing mix to adapt? It's not like a set it and forget it formula, is it?
Definitely not. Let's look at product adaptation first. The article really stresses how important it is to keep innovating, making new products, tweaking existing ones based on those changing preferences and market trends we keep mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
That could mean adding features, boosting quality, maybe bringing in new tech to stay relevant and appeal to the new people.
So it's constant improvement, really, driven by feedback and looking ahead.
Yeah. Then you've got price adjustments. Businesses have to be flexible here. Using dynamic pricing models helps react to, say, demand going up or down, or competitors changing their prices, or even costs changing.
Right.
Plus, using promotional pricing smartly, or value-based pricing, can help target specific groups or respond to certain market situations.
Yeah, being nimble with pricing is crucial in a competitive world. You need to adjust to stay profitable, but still seem like good value.
And how does place fit into adapting?
Well, it's about constantly optimizing how you distribute, making sure your product is available where your customers actually are. That could mean beefing up your online channels, making your delivery faster and more reliable, or even moving into new geographical areas if that makes sense for growth. Convenience and access are always areas you can improve.
So, meeting the customer where they are, basically,
Yeah.
digitally or physically.
Exactly. And finally, promotion strategies need to evolve too. They have to line up with current trends and how people are behaving. That often means focusing more on really targeted ads, using social media effectively to engage, and using all the sophisticated digital marketing tools out there to reach the right audience with the right message, at the right time.
It really sounds like the 4Ps give you a solid base, but you have to be constantly tweaking and adapting every single element to stay competitive and really meet what customers need as their needs change.
That's it, exactly. It's a dynamic thing, understanding your market, strategically adjusting what you offer, and communicating its value effectively in a world that just doesn't stand still.
Okay, so wrapping things up, the marketing mix, the 4Ps: product, price, place, promotion, it gives businesses a really vital framework for reaching their market and hitting their goals.
Mm.
But, and it's a big but, in today's world, just relying on that traditional model alone has its limits.
Mhm.
You need a dynamic, adaptive approach, and you need to consider things beyond just those four elements.
That sums it up nicely. The 4Ps are a great starting point, invaluable even. But businesses need to be agile, stay laser focused on the customer, and always be ready to adapt their strategies to handle the complexities of the modern market.
And just on that note, here's something maybe for you, our listener, to think about. With digital platforms becoming so dominant and everyone increasingly expecting really personalized experiences, how might that traditional 4Ps framework need to evolve even more fundamentally to stay truly relevant for businesses trying to build those lasting, meaningful customer relationships in the future? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.